Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and by now you guys have probably seen the breaking news. The Commanders have granted permission to Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen to seek a trade per multiple reports. Allen is in the final year of his contract and none of the money is guaranteed. So it's very interesting that we've decided to announce this now, and I don't think it's shocking, right? It's Combine week. During the Combine is when teams discuss trades, and it's when trades start to materialize, right? So I'm not too surprised that we decided to announce this now. Am I a little surprised by us making him available? A little bit, but at the same time, it does make sense because obviously over the past 2 seasons, we haven't gotten, the same production out of Jonathan Allen that we were getting before the 2023 season, right? In 2021 and 2022, he was a back-to-back Pro Bowler, right? He was phenomenal in 2021 and in 2022. But since 2023, he just hasn't been the same. And then this past season, he suffered the torn pectoral, week 6 versus the Ravens. But even beforehand, he wasn't playing very well, right? Like, he just wasn't putting up a ton of production. So it does make sense as to why we're putting him or making him available in trade. He's going to get to talk to other teams. Adam Peters, he had his press conference at the Combine today. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but he said that he wants to do right by Jonathan Allen. He thanks John Allen for everything, and he says that all options are still on the table, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we decide to keep John Allen. However, with us allowing him and his agent to seek a trade, it kind of does feel like he won't be with this team next season, right? And another reason as to why it makes sense to trade him, we would save a lot of money. Now, do we necessarily need the money? Not necessarily. We have $82 million in cap space right now. If we were to trade or cut Jonathan Allen, we would save $16 million in cap space. So we would basically have close to $100 million in cap space once we move on from John Allen, right? So even with not moving on from John Allen, right, we would still have a lot of money. However, with him being 30 years old, only going to get older and older, coming off a torn pec, his production dipping over the past 2 seasons, it does make sense to make him available for trade this offseason and now since it is the week of the Combine. So I definitely do understand why they decided to make him available now. About a month ago, I did make a video about possible cut and or trade candidates. John Allen was on that list. We'd save $16 million by cutting or trading him, like I just said, and we'd only have to eat up about $6 million in dead cap, right? So not a lot of dead cap you'd have to eat up while saving a buttload of money in the process, right? And that money can be used to maybe replace Jonathan Allen, right? There's some guys in free agency. Now, this is a loaded defensive tackle draft class, right? So if you want to replace John Allen, you don't need to spend a lot of money in free agency to do so, right? I know there's Osa Odighizuwa, Milton Williams, BJ Hill, a lot of other guys as well. But those guys will most likely be pretty expensive, right? And replacing one expensive D tackle with another may not be the smartest idea, right? I'm not opposed to doing it. However, you may want to go the cheaper option and draft a D tackle in this loaded D tackle draft class, right? So we'll see what Peters decides to do in terms of replacing Allen after we trade him, right? But when it comes to a potential John Allen trade, the most I feel like we can net is probably a 4th round pick. He's 30 years old, once again, coming off a torn pec. His production has dipped over the past few seasons, and this is a loaded D tackle draft class, right? So teams may feel the need to just use that pick they were thinking about trading for John Allen, right? And just draft a D tackle, right? So that's my thought on a potential John Allen trade, and that's what I feel like we'd probably be able to net, right? Maybe a 3rd round pick, but the likelihood of us netting a 3rd round pick, in my opinion, is pretty low unless Adam Peters is able to fleece a team to give us a 3rd round pick, right? So we'll see what happens in a John Allen trade, but as of right now, all we know is that he will most likely be traded this offseason. And once again, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he stays, but right now it looks like and it sounds like he's going to be dealt this offseason. So those are my thoughts on the John Allen breaking news of him getting permission from the team to seek a trade Comment down below your thoughts, whether or not this will be a good move. And just keep this in mind real quick. It's interesting that they made Jonathan Allen available. They said that he can seek a trade. Not John Allen requesting a trade, but they said that he can seek a trade. So, hey man, whenever a team allows a player to seek a trade, they're most likely gone, right? Think about it. This offseason, the Rams and the Niners have already allowed Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp to seek trades, right? Those two guys are most likely gone. And with this situation with John Allen, I feel like he's gone. Like, the fact that they allow him to seek a trade, right? And even if they don't find a trade partner, like if they're unable to get a trade done, they might just cut him, right? They get the $16 million either way, right? Obviously, trading him, you'd be able to get a pick. And Adam Peters, he loves his picks, right? So, keep that in mind. But if they don't find a suitable trade partner for John Allen, they just might go ahead and just release him because they'll still get the $16 million back. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of thinking about Jonathan Allen potentially getting moved, or most likely getting moved. One more thing before I get on out of here, want to talk about a couple things that Adam Peters said at his presser at the Combine. He had it around 12 p.m. today, so just got some notes here. First off, Martin Mayhew, he did retire after 26 years in the NFL, so that was kind of shocking to hear because we didn't know what was up with Martin Mayhew. We didn't know if he was still on the front office. Well, he was technically a part of the front office. He was our advisor for Adam Peters and obviously was our former GM when Ron was here, right? But we didn't know like really how around he was, how involved he was in operations until today, where Adam Peters said to the media that he did retire, right? So, hey, congrats on retirement to Martin Mayhew, but glad you're gone. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I don't have any ill will towards him, but man, him, Ron, what was that guy's name? Eric Stokes, everybody in that front office, a part of Ron's regime, terrible, right? I'll never forget the Emmanuel Forbes draft clip, man. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. That was horrible, man. But once again, congratulations on retirement by Martin Mayhew, but he will no longer be serving this team. So that's that, right? Once again, talked about this a couple minutes ago. Adam Peters, he said that everything is on the table when it comes to John Allen. He gave his agent and obviously Allen permission to speak to other teams and try and get a trade done, right? So, he thanked him, Jonathan Allen, on how good he has been with this team. I know some fans try and make out to say like John Allen, he hasn't been good at all in his career. Like ever since he got paid, he hasn't been the same. And that's just not true. After he got paid, and remember, he got paid before the beginning of the 2021 season, before training camp that offseason. Actually, in 2021, he had the best season of his life. He made the Pro Bowl that season. After that season, he was getting put in top 5 D tackle talks. And then the next season, 2022, you could say he was even better. Made the Pro Bowl once again. And was he an All-Pro? I don't think he was an All-Pro, but he did make the Pro Bowl again, right? And he was still in those top 5, top 10 D tackle talks, right? So the notion that John Allen has never been a great D tackle, that's just false. He was once a really good D tackle. These past 2 years, though, he didn't look like that, right? And we do need a better play. We definitely do need better play. And if it were up to me, I'm fine with moving on from John Allen, right? We do need better play, and we'd save a lot of money from cutting him or trading him, right? But if Daron Payne had an out on his contract this year, I would move on from him before John Allen, because to be honest with you, Daron Payne hasn't done anything since getting paid, man. He just hasn't shown amazing production whatsoever, man. Amazing on the field play. So if it were up to me, if Daron Payne had an out this year, which he doesn't, but if he did, hypothetically, then I would move on from him before Allen. Because he doesn't, I'm fine with moving on from Allen before him, right? But I just wanted to get that off my chest real quick. And then Peters also said during his press conference that he's very confident in Marshon Lattimore, still very high on him. And I am too, right? Like, I want to see what he can do with the full offseason. Obviously, it wasn't great this past season, but we just didn't really see what a fully healthy Marshon Lattimore could be, right? So with the full offseason of going through the ropes of this team, learning the Bull playbook, I feel like he could be much more improved heading into next season, right? So I'm still very high on Marshawn Lattimore as well, and I expect us to sign a cornerback too, maybe a Moody Ward or DJ Reed to stick on the opposite side of him. So those are my thoughts on just some of the things that Adam Peters said at his presser today at the Combine. So that is it for today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.